Hello and welcome to another episode of Honest to a Malt with myself, Duncan.
Well remembered.
Whiskey Tip. Yeah, I know my name, right? Two Puds, the deputy leader of the Kent Crow Society. And this week we've got a special guest, Luke Patience, 3-time Olympian in sailing and co-founder of the Patience Spirit Company.
And the new company, Unkiltered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. That's why there's two of us.
That's the one. Yeah, that's why there's two.
That's why there's two of us.
You're a team.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Mike, what's the name of the episode today, my friend?
So we are episode 60, and it is Have a Little Patience, featuring Luke Patience.
Luke Patience.
Brilliant. Absolute class. Yep.
Welcome, Luke.
Thanks very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm actually looking forward to, I assume we'll get a song from Gary Barlow specifically for this as well.
100%. Yeah. I mean, it might not be Gary Barlow, it might be Barry Marlow, but we will have something.
It's an open invite. You're welcome to throw some singing over it.
We'll get you on BandLab. You can join in the
collab. On BandLab. You can have a crack. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, dear me. We should do intro. So, Luke, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Sure. Well, so my name's Luke. Yeah, I am a 37-year-old Scotsman, and as you mentioned, previously have been chasing Olympic medals and chasing sport for my whole adult life up until Tokyo 2020 or 2021 as it ended up being. Yeah, finished, and I hung up the professional sport boots then and started to bury myself in the world of whiskey, and here I am.
That's not a bad option to take, is it, afterwards?
Yeah, and by the way, I don't mean buried myself in the bottom of a bottle either. I mean the industry, although that happened at times too. But
I feel like there's quite a strong correlation though, sometimes between really high performance athletes and being into stuff like whiskey, or being a bit obsessive about a hobby of some kind, because you put so much effort into something. Was I right in reading that the particular type of sailing that you do, is it the 470 event?
Yeah, that's right. That was the type of boat. The discipline I did was the men's double hander, and the boat that's associated with that is called a 470. It's just a measure of its length. It's not incredibly inspired.
But is it like it was discontinued, that length of boat or something, for like the upcoming Olympics, or did I misread that?
The separate events, which were male and female, became combined. So it became combined so that it doesn't matter which combination, but it's a two-person boat. So one must be male, one must be female, and they race together. But that wasn't why I left. It would have been an interesting new adventure to go, and I was just, my body and mind were happy with 18 years of it, you know.
I like the fact that you said you're chasing medals. Let's not forget, you are a silver medal
at
winner.
London.
In London 2012.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, I hope you realise that. I'm sure you are fully aware, but like, that's not a normal thing, Luke. Just to put that out there.
Yeah, I don't wish to be normal though, but and I'm not either, for what it's worth. But yeah,
it can go both ways, being abnormal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As Billy Connolly said, windswept and interesting is a good way to be.
Yeah, total hero.
You've kind of got windswept hair right now, actually. You just rock that all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm tell you what, I'm glad we're not doing this. I'm glad people can't watch this, because I don't know if you can see in the screen, I've got almost a black eye. I woke up this morning and it looked like somebody punched me. I probably punched myself in my dreams.
In the night.
Yeah, exactly. So God knows what's going on, but I've woken up with a puffy eye. I think I was out fighting through the night.
Yeah. That must be the stress of setting up a new independent whiskey bottler, my friend. That's all
exactly,
it can be.
Yeah.
It's just like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah.
So what's the name of the new independent bottler again, Luke?
So we're called Unkiltered.
Unkiltered.
So a play on the word of off kilter.
Have you launched your first bottles yet? They're coming out soon, right?
We have. Our first 3 bottles are sat right now, all labelled up, all ready to go. But we're just finalising the build of the website and making all the process of buying slick. So the whiskey's ready to go, but we're just hold fire for about another week. Sometime next week we will launch the brand and launch the ability
How
to
much
buy
time
whiskey.
went into selecting 3? Because I'm sure you've got more than that available. You must have just been like, right, what's the impacted one? What are we coming out with?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of time, but it's a lot of time and a lot of trying to strategize what we want to do like 3 years in advance as well. So trying to look at what journey of flavor we want to go on with it. The whiskey that we like drinking, but also variety that would mean we're not one-trick ponies, hopefully. And and as indie bottlers, you can be very agile. Big distilleries neither want to nor need to. The character of their spirit is in the shape of the stills, the yeast strain, all the stuff we know, fermentation time, all of that good stuff, which I love. Obviously, I'm an indie bottler. I don't have a distillery. So I create my flavor by bringing in interesting bits of wood and using other wood and other spirits and wines and what have you to put the spirit I will buy through its own little journey, so that we've played a part in it all. It's by a million miles the most exciting bit for me. Not just because I get to sample a load of whiskey, but that does happen. But it's just fun. It's just
you
fun
get to drink it, you get to bottle it, and you get to make some profit hopefully at the end of it, which
hopefully.
is like the dream.
exactly.
I'm sure
you painted this as like the easiest thing to do in the world. Like,
dangerous being able to. I worked at McDonald's for 4 weeks, I think, when I was younger, just in between jobs, but before I go back to university. And
you got to make burgers,
getting high in your own
burgers.
supply, having those burgers. It's a heady mix, right?
How did the weight? Were you straight into the gym on the 5th week? Where you?
I was like, look, listen, I did a lot of exercise when I was younger. I could carry a McDonald's for 4 weeks, but I'm sure
actually
if
all
I'd
of us
worked there
can,
longer,
can't we?
it would have been bad.
I remember when I hit the age where, and it kind of coincided as well with leaving professional sport, but I suddenly realized I can no longer eat and do what I want and see the same guy in the mirror. It's a disappointing day. I don't mind the grey hair.
Luke, you haven't even hit 40
happy
yet.
for that.
You've got it, honestly, you've got it all to come.
Yeah.
It is quite impressive. That extra slice of cheesecake just is immediately visible as a lump the next day. You're like, damn it. What the hell?
So, Luke, let's start
Yes.
with you this week as our special guest. What's been in your glass and what's been up your arse?
Well, in my glass right now is an Aberlour Buna. Yeah, I'm giving it a good swirl. I just love the colour.
I thought you were going to go whole Richard Patterson and throw it out then for a second and pull another one.
You're already winging that about.
I know. What a legend. I actually have done that before, but it stained the walls, and so I thought, well, we can't do that again.
Too much effort.
He didn't give me that bit of advice. Lob it all over the walls, and you'll be scrubbing for weeks.
I am tempted to record a parody with the White Mackay, and
that would be great.
Just do the whole bottle. It's empty.
Yeah, that would be
just
great.
out of the glass.
Just tip it out.
just the whole bottle. Throw it away, and again, throw it away.
Get another one.
About 18 quid, isn't it? For that? 20 quid.
That's decent. So sorry, we interrupted you. So
that's quite all right.
Aberlour.
I think this is batch. I said to you batch 53 or 54. I think it is.
Beautiful.
And do you know, actually, this is one of my 4th or 5th bottles that I had on my shelf when I first started buying whiskey, and fell in love.
Yeah.
Just fell in love with it. Prior to that, I'd never really had any finishes that were, or some of this is, it might even be full maturation actually in Oloroso, is it? I don't know.
I think they are.
Yeah. But anyway, it was the first whiskey I drank that had been influenced by something else, and I fell in love straight away.
I remember getting those from Amazon, and it came. I ordered 4 because I was like, I tried one and I was like, this is the future.
Did you get a good
price? And it was on a really good offer. And when they sent them to me, they taped all 4 of them together inside the box. So when I took the sellotape off, it just wrecked the boxes. And I went, these were gifts, and got a full refund. So I was like, yes!
Did you? 4 bottles for free?
4 bottles.
Oh my God.
Mike's super crafty.
Home run.
I just if I had a restaurant and Mike was coming in, I'm all eyes on him.
Yeah,
you'd
be giving away free meals like there's no tomorrow. Yeah.
So what's been up your arse in the last week? Has anything been annoying you, or has it been sunshine and light?
I am a very happy man all the time. I don't know if anything's up my arse.
Has anything been particularly joyous in the last week?
Oh.
Have you been out hunting massive crabs? That's what I want to know.
No, massive crabs. No, I've not. But actually, I did try to. In fact, I'll tell you what. Last week, I tried to go. We bonfire and barbecue on the beach over East out Dunbar area, and I went with all my, because I spearfish, so I went with all my snorkel gear, and I went, right, here we go, and all my gear, my gun, and everything. Like, let's go, and got in the sea, nothing. Not a single bit of life. And I was hoping to catch a massive crab, and there was none around. There was no fish, there was no nothing. But I know they're down there, so I just got it wrong.
Someone had told them you were coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
There's that geezer in the army camo wetsuit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. Here he is. Look at the mug. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What about yourself, Mike? What's been in your glass and what's been up your ass?
What's been in my glass? I believe you were on it as well. The Wireworks tweet tasting.
Yes, we were both from that. Yeah.
Once again from Steve Rush. Thank you very much, Steve Rush, for constantly supplying me with
we need to get Steve a nickname, don't we?
I think he's my whiskey dealer. Is that allowed? I think that's the phrase.
The whiskey dealer.
Yeah,
Steve Rush.
He gets me some whiskey samples, and you're like, "Thank you, Steve. Once again, I get to try some amazing stuff."
Yeah.
So he sent through. We had 4 samples, tasted them live with a load of people on Twitter. I think top of the tree for me was the rum cask bottling was absolutely lush, and I think you were on it as well.
Well, that was it. Yeah, it was actually a rum, not a whiskey.
Was it shut up, it was a rum.
My face, Mike. Oh, we have
cask aged rum, right? Yeah,
it's rum.
So there we go.
It's rum. Brilliant.
The rum was better than the whiskey.
Different. The rum was the most Moorish part of it, for sure.
Yes.
It was between the rum and the Amarone whiskey.
I'm going to edit all that out.
No, I'm editing this one. It's staying in. It tasted a lot like rum. So that rum had loads of fresh lime in it.
Yeah.
Like lime cordial. For me, it didn't have too much coconut in it. It was really sort of dialed down, but it had a lot of other stuff. But it was very, very lime-centric.
It was stunning.
Super Moorish. They're doing good stuff with rum there.
They're doing great stuff with rum. I thought it was whiskey cask. I was like, hell.
I think the Amarone was, a lot of the cherry was coming through, some strawberries as well. There was a lot of kind of like quite ripe, fresh red fruits.
I think that was probably second on the night for me. I tasted that at a festival recently, and I was like, you need to push that. I went, we don't. It's selling out.
Yeah, it's selling out anyway.
Yeah, it's hard to get hold of it, but yeah, that was beautiful. But yeah, and then up my arse, nothing. I have been generally in a positive place for a week. What can I say? I would have been happier if England got knocked out last night, but alas, I was so happy to start celebrating.
Was it good enough just to watch everyone being tortured by the dismal display?
No, the ITV. Oh, I'll tell you what has been up my arse. Yeah, flip it on its head. The ITV commentary. Oh my words. It is absolutely awful. I've never heard such bad commentary. It's like just the most depressing thing I've ever heard in my life. I think
is it Lee Dixon?
Yeah, Lee Dixon, also known as Carl Pilkington from Ricky
Gervais.
He
was going to come on in 3 weeks. We've had to cancel it.
Good. People would be fucking switched. No one would ever listen again. Like, yeah, he'd be telling everyone they're doing it wrong. Like Lee Dixon, what do you know about whiskey? Nothing, but you're doing it wrong. Yeah, these boys can't. They're going to win anything. What did you win, Lee? Nothing. Yeah, brilliant.
I think did he win something at Arsenal in his career? He must have done, mustn't he?
God knows. I don't know. It's different at club football.
Fair enough.
Says me. Club football, yeah, nothing. Just one
commentary's been up your arse.
Premiership, whatever. Commentary's been up my arse, but other than that, everything is wonderful. Kent County Council, thank you. Finally done my drop curb. That's all done. Got my own driveway. What an adult conversation that is.
Have you got something to put in the driveway?
Well, it was just like a split from the neighbour. So I had to get a drop curb put in has taken around 6 months of constant battle with
It's nothing like some local bureaucracy, is there?
Oh, no, I paid off the parish. I mean, the parish council were really helpful. I did a lot of litter picking. Yeah, so no, that's me. How about you? What's been in your glass and what's been up your arse?
I finished off that Master of Malt single cask Glengoyne, 20-year-old, the one that kind of has like milky tea vibes. Yeah, Luke, it got down to I think about 25% of the bottle left. Mm-hmm. And I just sessioned it in the end. I shared some with my wife as well. But I have a sort of limit of 25 to 30 open bottles. When it starts to get up towards 30, I just pause, and anything which is looking on the lower side, I try to finish off. We're going to get onto your whiskey collection in a bit, 100%.
Wait, but milky tea vibes. What's the milky tea vibes? What?
Yeah, so...
Are you saying like tea that's gone cold, milky, or like sugar? I'm picturing something negative here.
No, it's not negative at all. I find sometimes, with like Glengoyne, you can get kind of sort of a tea note, but in this particular one, it was more like kind of milky tea. You know, so like if you put quite a lot of milk into your not Earl Grey, like, you know, black tea, basically, like that. I mean, there's a lot of other flavors going on.
If you put milk into your black tea, that's just tea, mate.
It's just for clarification. like a breakfast tea, or something, like a milky
like...
breakfast tea. Oh my days! Do you know what? I'd go and pour it again and check it, but I can't because I finished it, so it's all gone. Fireworks, I agree with you. The rum, it's ridiculous.
I can't believe that was actual rum.
I've been enjoying this PC10 again, the Port Charlotte 10.
Nice.
Very much. And I tried that silky that you left around, Mike, when you couldn't be asked to take it back the other day. And I've had one pour, and then I've donated the rest of the bottle to David, father-in-law. Not because I don't like it. It's a very good, easy drinking whiskey, but I need to keep him in whiskey. So I always try to pick some stuff that's not much higher than 46% for him.
And stuff you haven't paid for.
Otherwise, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't mind about that.
I like the instant answer there. Yeah.
The best bit of my week was an SMWS. No, two things. One, our daughter is now 4.5 months, and she just smiles all the time.
Cool.
All the time. She's just continuously smiling. So that's a joy. There was an SMWS delivery. I got an NGP. So a bit of a mash bill mix. And George Dickel, one's 7 years, one's 6 years, both single cask. So I'm excited to have some more bourbon.
America!
Yeah, more American stuff in the cupboard. And I think a Man at Moor Festival edition, they had some sort of 60 quid off offer or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a deal, really. You know, I don't know what they got them for overall. 145 quid for all 3 bottles or something. I mean, can you complain?
Can you?
Like 14-year-old, like heavily sherried at Man at Moor.
Heavily sherried from SMWS.
I think it is.
What a surprise.
What a surprise. Not a finish. Luke, our pro tip is scan the tasting notes, and if it says spicy at all, even if they say a little spicy, just really think carefully about buying it.
It's like someone at SMWS is just going, white pepper, sir? White pepper?
White pepper. Nice. More white pepper on that one. So
I've got 2 bottles on the shelf.
It's just really childish, and this is a completely first world problem, but I love that Loch Lomond's Spanish Oak. And I would even more love to know how much of it's left in the bottle, because it's a black bottle. I can't tell. I'm like holding it up to the light, trying to stare through, and it's something really annoying. I really like to see the level that's left in a bottle.
But that's a good thing.
It's not a good thing.
It is.
I'm like shaking it. I'm trying to work it out by
from
sound
the sun
vibrations.
And the light and everything else. It's protecting the whiskey.
Got to the point where I was trying to tip it up to see if I could see. I was like, this is just silly.
I'm sure you were. Just like, is there any more in there?
Yeah, it's a really small thing.
It's straight into your mouth.
It's such a great whiskey. It's such a distinctive, beautiful tasting whiskey. But the bottle, I don't know why they have to put them in black bottles. So
I like it. Carry on, Michael.
Yeah, Monsieur Henri, if you're listening.
Michel Henri, if you're
listening, just see through bottles, please. Back to. I've got an icebreaker for you two. Do you want? I've got a quiz for you both. Do you want to do the quiz now, or do you want to talk about your whiskey collection now? I'm quite keen to hear a bit about your whiskey collection, Luke. Should we do that first, then quiz it up?
Yeah, sure.
I've read that you are a whiskey collector. Is that an accurate bit of journalism?
Well, yes. I actively collect whiskey, but a collector insinuates that, I mean, I keep opening the bloody bottles that I collect. Yes. So I don't know, does that make me a collector anymore? The amount of closed bottles I have on my shelf are minimal. So,
but it's still a collection, even if they're open.
It is still a collection. I actually thought about the other day. I was like, do I need to write a will? And it was purely on the basis of like, who's going to get my whiskey? Like if I snuff it tomorrow,
this guy.
Just what happens if
I can see there's going to be a fist fight out the front door here. For the folk that know it's in here.
When you call people up and say, I've redone my will, and they say, they're bracing themselves, thinking I'm getting half the house. You go, I've saved the Tamdale 18 for you.
Yeah,
it's in them.
Exactly.
And they're like, you put down
the
phone thinking, they must be so happy with that, and they get off and go, it's just whiskey.
Yeah.
So what kind of bottles have you got then? Talk us through a bit about what you've got at the moment that's open and when you're waiting to open.
Well, you might see some behind me. That's not the whole thing. I've got other shelves there. I've actually got a wee cask onto. I mean, I know our listeners, can't view. They're not viewers. But yeah, it's all dotted around. I mean,
Did you say you got a cask there?
But a wee cask that's been built into shelves.
Oh, wow. Can you take a picture And you can
would
post it online and we'll retweet it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that.
That would be really cool if that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
More so because I've got a barrel I want to smash up in my garage.
So this is your whiskey room then, is it?
Well, this is it's my front room, but yeah, it's basically turned into a whiskey warehouse.
It's transitioned slowly into a whiskey room.
Especially what I've found is getting into independent bottling. Like you just build samples. I mean, I'm gonna have an entire cask of samples that I may as well just blend together and call it the mashup or something. Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, no. I mean, I basically enjoy grabbing onto whiskey that is. I quite like buying the main spirit from a lot. I know just a lot of distilleries, don't they? They do their classic malt, Lafroig 10, or you've got your Jura 10, for example, or the Glenfiddich 12. Or, I quite like buying the bottles that will tell the story of what the flavor profiles and what
the profile of the distillery,
exactly,
or the profile of the cask,
exactly. And then I like to branch. If I like that, I delve deeper into the distillery, maybe get something, maybe something older or a special finish or something. So I do that, as well as I really enjoy the younger distilleries that are popping up kind of everywhere. It seems at the minute. Less than 5-year-old kind of things. I mean, I recently got a bottle of Rassay's ex-Bordeaux, but honestly, I know it's no age statement, and that doesn't bother me either. If it tastes good, it tastes good. It is honestly one of the best drams I've ever drunk.
I mean, I've tasted that.
Phenomenal.
It is packed full of flavour.
It's just,
I only had a sample.
I was pinballing around on the flavour. It's just here, then I'm here, then I'm here, then I'm here. And I quite like that. I quite enjoy a whiskey that makes me think. But you have to be in the right environment to drink it. If you're just smashing through a few drams with your mates, chatting away, and not really listening to what's in the glass, then maybe something simpler is good. But
you don't need to always have that older stuff. Like there is a healthy market for young whiskey.
And actually, Portleith Distillery did something cool where have you seen their table whiskey? So they brought out a bottle called Table Whiskey, and it's really it's kind of clues in the name. It's really cool concept, nice price tag on it, and it is the whiskey where they say open it and get stuck in, with your friends. This is not for looking pretty on the shelf. This is
just
for
having when you're just when you're not overthinking the whiskey, you're just sharing with friends. Or
yeah,
I get it. Yeah, right, I mean when we went to, we talked about this before, when we went to that Cutty Sark event, we just drunk Cutty Sark on the table instead of the wine.
Yeah,
table whiskey, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a really easy, citrusy, floral,
lovely
sweet
blend.
Lovely blend, yeah. Can't go wrong, right?
After you've had a few, it makes no difference anyway. Ultimately, you can have the nicer stuff and the shitter stuff.
Bollinger first,
you could be drinking rum and think it's whiskey.
Yeah. You never know.
That's up there in your top sort of 3 or 5 mistakes, Mike. I love that. It's going to go down as a classic. You'll not be getting invited to any rum events.
I might get some trips to Jamaica.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
So what have you got any favourite distilleries or any favourite bottles that you've got open at the moment then? You mentioned the Rassay. Have you got anything else which you're totally loving?
I'm kind of looking round as we speak. I mean, I've got a soft spot for the Mortlach 16, but the Flora and Fauna. Yeah. Funnily enough, I've recently finished a bottle, and I've got the newer The Beast, the Mortlach 16 that's in its new bottles and all that. But is there a consensus on that's the same spirit or not?
We don't know. We're not really. Neither of us is really tries or drinks much Mortlach just because of the price point, really.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because it's quite pricey these days.
Yeah.
If you were drinking it years ago, fair enough. Obviously, it tends to be a bit thicker, in its sort of. Or traditionally, it was sort of thicker. And I actually had, talking about independent bottlers, one of the nicest whiskies I've had in the last few years. Not nicest ever, but one of the sort of, if I was doing a top 20, it would just about nudge in there. And that was from the Boutique Whiskey Company, which was their 22-year-old Mortlach. I think it was sherry refill.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
I bet that was brilliant.
That might be. Oh, yeah, that's a 9-year-old though.
But that was so cheap. It was on a special offer from Master and Malt.
The older one was unbelievable.
Mortlach Indies, hint.
Yeah, they can be
fantastic stuff if you can get it.
Oh, and this is where indie bottlers are so good. I mean, sometimes it's like with Ben Nevis. I mean, so many good Nevis's that are bottled by indie bottlers across the board.
Yeah.
All right, so you two ready for this quiz then?
Yeah. Do I need a pen and paper?
No, you don't need a pen and paper. I'll keep score for you both. Mike was trying to convince me to give him the answers earlier, just so you know he tried to cheat. And
How dare you, Duncan?
I rebuffed his. So it is. Has this sport featured in the Olympics?
Right? Oh no! If I get this wrong,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 or 11. And then we've got a tiebreaker if required. Slash.
Don't reckon we're going to need
Let's see
it.
what happens. So here we go. First of all, has this sport featured in the Olympics? Dumbbell lifts.
Now hold on. Is this the first to answer? Have we got to create a buzzer? Or something?
No. There's no buzzer. You just need to say if you think it's featured in the Olympics. Yes or no.
No.
I'll keep a tally for you both. It's not a time pressure.
I think that's a double no.
That's a double no.
No, it did. It featured in the Olympics in 1904.
Oh, I wasn't born then.
Well, see, if you listen
I
to
was
the question,
just about born then.
if you were paying attention to the question, gents, then you would have heard that I said it was featured in the Olympics, as in, obviously. So now you know, right? So that's a no for both of you. All right, next one. Cricket. A few moments
Yes. I feel like one day.
Yes, Luke takes the lead. So, yes, cricket has never featured in the Olympics. Luke, you are correct. It's one that people think should feature in the Olympics. All right, easy one for you. Squash.
Yes.
No.
Luke, Luke, this is going to be easy for Luke at this rate. Yeah, correct. It's never been in the Olympics, so they've tried really hard to lobby for it. Apparently, 20 million people around the world play squash, so they've made it quite a strong case for it. BMX.
Yes.
BMX. Yes, BMX
absolutely.
is in. So no squash, but BMX, yes. Tug of war.
Yes.
I'm with Mike. I'm gonna say yes, but I'm guessing it's gonna be one from back in the 1900s.
I'm picturing like 1908. Someone like
Boys are both spot on. It featured in 5 Olympics between 1900 and 1920.
There you go.
5.
There
and
you
then
go.
they canned it. Crazy.
That has got now. One of the most ridiculous sports I've seen. Have you seen they getting these long boats, rowing long boats that are in a swimming pool?
Yeah.
And they're just paddling against each other in the same boat. So like one team on one end of the boat.
That sounds amazing.
And so it's like an anti-tug of war. They're just seeing who
and
gives
it's just
up
like
first.
not much movement.
Rashing
really.
at each. Oh, it doesn't move anywhere. It moves about
That
2
sounds like
feet.
a gladiators event.
Yeah, it's whoever gonna.
I once saw on some Japanese TV show or something like that. I'm sure it was. They had like an extreme tug of war where they're up on a platform, and if they got tugged off, then they all died. And they were
wrong choice of terminology.
Definitely,
there, I think,
it was definitely a film. Thinking about it, but they were using that technique. When you like lean back and you really dig in and stuff. It's so. I'd love to see tug of war at the Olympics. That I'd watch.
Me too.
All right, next one. Live pigeon shooting.
Live pigeon shooting. I'm gonna have to say yes.
Yeah, okay, Mike, you claw one back. Indeed, it was one from back in the day, around probably I think it was in France or something like 1900ish. All right, let's whip through the rest of them. Dodgeball.
No.
Correct. Dodgeball's never featured. Air pistol.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, Luke, correct. Air pistol is current event.
Current event.
It just sounds like it's a bunch of teenagers running around shooting a forest.
Yeah.
Last one. The obstacle swim. This is a swim. They would swim and they would climb over obstacles. It's a sport. It was a sport.
That sounds. I'm going to say yes because you're saying like it is a sport. So you've given that away.
I'm going to say no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I was giving it away a bit there. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
That was his tell. He was useless.
We might. That's because we do a pod every week, right? So you can tell. Poor Luke, he hasn't had 59 episodes to work out if I'm bullshitting or not. Yeah. So they have this swim and they would like swim for a bit and they'd climb over an obstacle, and that was the whole thing. They'd climb over a boat and then they'd do another obstacle. Again, sounds like a great sport, right? Just
to get a little shark in there, like outrun the crocodile, whatever it is.
More real world, really, isn't it? If you're swimming close to the shoreline and you swim for long enough, you're gonna occur.
They do it in Magaluf now with stag and hen parties. You got to try and get past them.
Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we do one more, right? Last one to make it the scores out of 10. Competitive ballroom dancing.
No.
going to have to say yes just to count.
Yeah, you've got a split here. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, it's not, but they're petitioning really hard to get it in.
Are they?
Who wants to watch competitive ballroom dancing? I'm sure some people do, but it's on every Saturday night anyway.
I was going to say, there's probably a few million people that watch Strictly that seem to think that's an entertaining way to spend a night.
Luke is really the winner with a 7 out of 10, and Mike, you got a rubbish 5 out of 10.
But that's not very good.
Here's the
odds
final
for me.
question anyway, just in case.
Right.
What we'll do is, if it's not a tiebreaker, we'll give it a score of 3 points, and whoever gets this closest to this wins.
Okay.
So sailing has always been in the Olympics, except 1 year. There's just 1 year ever where sailing didn't feature. Which was the year? Whoever gets closest. What do you mean, what?
Which was the year?
Just whoever gets closest wins.
1949.
Right.
I want to say, by the way, there wasn't a games in 49. I want to say 76, 1976.
So random.
You said closest year.
You did actually. You're right. You're right. Yeah,
you're back into VAR territory. It was 1904, so it was ages ago, right? So
London.
Mike gets 8 out of 10 and has beaten the Olympian.
Yes!
New pod segment. Beat the Olympian. Beat Mike who beat the Olympian. There we go. That's the new pod segment.
Bravo.
It's wordy, but
sorry for that. I just thought that it would be interesting to see.
I'll commiserate myself with another dram here.
Yeah.
What are you pouring now? What are you pouring?
I am now pouring. So it's an Italian whiskey. You guys had mentioned you've heard. So this is Puny. Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Puny? And that's Puni, not like saying something's puny, like it's weak.
Yeah. Puni, which is a stunning looking building. And
stunning looking building. The bottle's just as striking. Yeah. I mean, for the listeners that haven't seen it, it's got this black, I'm guessing this is a paint coat or something. Like, so the neck and the shoulders of the bottle is jet black, isn't it? And then
it's like they've gone to a wrapping company for your BMW 5 Series.
Yeah, exactly.
They've made it look
the top
but you can still see the level, right? Because you see in the bottom half the bottle. I'm just saying, Michael. I'm just saying. So what have you got there? That 4-year-old Puny.
So I'm just reading it now as we. So it's been matured for 5.4 years. Now what? 0.4.
That's
3
months. 3 months.
What the hell? Yeah, they've got that confused, haven't they? That's clearly like
5.4 years.
Yeah, it's 4 months.
Yeah. In Merlot casks.
just under. It's about 3.5 months. That's very
3.5 months. Yeah, it's really specific, isn't it? And it's, all the good stuff, natural color, non-chill filtered, and it tastes absolutely incredible. I mean, honestly.
Did you say it was a Merlot cask?
Yeah, Merlot.
Yeah, wine cask pervert.
Great.
What are you getting then off the Merlot? Merlot can be a bit dry, can't it?
It's quite fresh in the nose, like it's not. Definitely there's a wee bit of hint of peat and smoke in there, but it's fresh. It's kind of like grassy. It almost reminds me of a Highland malt. It's not a million miles off that subtle peated kind of Highland Park. It's good though. I mean, honestly,
nice.
Well done to them.
That could go well in the blind.
I don't think I've tried many Merlot finish or full maturation whiskies. Really, that would be. I mean,
and it's peated, by the way. It is a peated whiskey.
What have you? Are you drinking the Redbreast, Mike?
I am. No, I'm drinking the Powers John Lane.
Oh yeah, the Powers John Lane.
12-year-old cask strength.
Single pot still.
Yes.
57.8%.
Sent to us by Brian. So thank you very much for the sample. I have something lined up for you. I did say I'd post it this week, but
I sent both of us.
Dad life. I've got a Springbank local barley I'm sending.
Oh my
It was the last
We're spoiling him.
Before Brian. I turned it into a tiki torch for my garden.
I can't remember what I sent him. I sent him about 3 drams. Anyway, this is incredible. I've never tried the 12 cask strength.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. It's Luke, it's genuinely outrageous.
Really?
Have you tried it?
No. So hold on, I'm confused. What? So I know I've been sat here listening, but I haven't listened. What are you drinking?
Powers John's Lane 12 cask strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
Single
Irish.
pot still Irish. And yeah, this was the dram that Michael Henry said was one of his favourite Irish, wasn't it?
He did, yeah. And it is incredible.
Come on, master of malt now.
I've got
I don't know if you'll get it. It's difficult to get over here.
I've got to rethink. Yeah, you can almost barely not get hold of it. I've got to rethink because I look at some of these Irish whiskies, about 75 quid. And I go, that's a bit much. That's not a bit much. This is incredible for 75 quid.
Yeah, there was a hell of a lot going on.
It's like creamy, biscuity, just tons of like fruit, like a bit of kick, but still got that kind of smooth,
like controlled.
Yeah, that smooth kind of Irish delivery. Milk chocolate in there as well.
I'm a big fan of whiskey. I've got, I ebb and flow of what I'm in the mood for, and it depends on the day as well, of course. But I'm obsessed with whiskies at the minute that have a really oily and like dance around your mouth. I just love a whiskey where you're, it just lives.
The more viscous, the better.
It's like it gets around your gums and just sets up camp. And that's where it stays, Oh,
I love that.
Like, right, lads, we're here in the gums and we're staying here. I love that kind of, ones that'll just sit there. And I don't mean like the finish afterwards, through your nose. I mean, it's sitting in
when it's really. This is why I like a lot of the Ben Nevises, but particularly Mike's tried it now. I'll send you a sample if you want. It's got a Glen Tocker's 21-year-old Berry Brothers and Rudd Open, which is just so oily.
Yeah.
Really?
It's so viscous. It's one of the most viscous whiskies I've ever had. So if that's your bag.
It's my bag.
Yet another. You can add it to your sample. It can go into the blend.
I'll send you something back. I'll send you a wee sample of ours back.
Yeah. 3 drams behind a bar, right? If you go into a pub, you go into a local pub or whatever, and it's a bit rubbish, and you were gonna redo their whiskey collection and pick them 3 whiskies, what 3 whiskies would you pick to go behind the bar?
Well, the obvious immediate answer is my first 3 releases with my sister.
Yes.
But
you should. But we would like you to actually, if you can, we'd like you to share what they are, right? Because you haven't actually said what they are yet, right?
No, I can. I'm happy to do that. I mean, so let's answer this question first.
Yeah.
We'll move on to that. So I would want to take them on. I want to make sure we've spanned a bit of flavor. So I think for there was a period of time when I drank Dura 10 like it was water. Might I add, responsibly, like it was water. Not when I was competing. When with some of my friends, we kind of, my parents live on an island on the west coast of Scotland. We'd have bonfires on the beach, and just the cork would be gone. And so I think a Dura 10 would be in there. The cork would be gone. Right, we don't need that anymore. That's surplus to requirement. Yeah. You oopsie, sorry. Yeah. So a Dura 10, because it just is easy. It slips down. It's all good. So we'd go there for the folk that need to. And also, it's quite good in a highball. I don't know if that's blasphemy to say, but chuck that in a wee cocktail that's needing some sweetness and you're away. I'm now going to say, to go more complex, I'm going to put our Rassé ex Bordeaux in there, single cask series.
Nice.
Give people like something that's got a lot more flavour and a bit more ABV to it, right?
Price tag's going to be up there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And then I think for something more subtle, we'll just a hint of peat to it. I think we'll go a Highland Park 12-year-old as well.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but Highland Park, a lot of people are into
just
Highland
for
Park,
that buoyant.
Get that wee bit of smoke in there, a little bit of peat. It's not too peaty, really.
Not too peaty, just for a buoyant Highland dram. So we're all quite west with all of that, but
So Dura 10, Highland Park 12, and
Rassé Bordeaux cask.
Bordeaux cask,
yeah.
Beautiful. Probably at the Rassé, I think. Maybe the Highland Park. Depends, doesn't it?
I'd have all 3.
All 3.
Yeah,
it's a flight.
It's a flight.
Yeah,
it's easy.
It's not drinking. It's a flight. It's posh.
People, exactly. So people like us, Luke, who've played it safe and lived our lives, mostly on land. People are always fascinated. Have you had it in all the sailing that you've done? Have you had any, quite dicey moments? Water to me, it's quite intimidating. I wasn't a good swimmer when I was younger. I learned to swim later on. I can swim, just to be clear, just in case anyone thinks about pushing me in a
super
canal.
defensive. Look how defensive he is straight away.
I was going to push me in a river or a canal or something like that. That's him gone. No, I can swim. I'll be fine. But generally, when I'm, in the water, or on a boat or something, I always feel a bit like, people,
on edge.
People are nervous flyers. Yeah. I'm not nervous on a boat, but I would think just.
Do you stick to the middle?
Okay, let me explain it. I'd rather fall out of the sky in an aeroplane, just go, well, it's over, than be stuck in the sea. Do you know what I mean? For a week or something having to fend off sharks, right? So have you had any sort of dicey moments?
Well, yeah, I have. But I think it's like all these things. So it's it's good to be a bit afraid of the sea. It's mental out there. It is mental. Like, it's good to be slightly cautious.
Healthy to be afraid of it.
Yeah. I mean, funnily enough, I'm a nervous flyer, and I'm sad to say I get on about 1,000 flights a year. Not literally, but
you just fly a lot, right?
Yeah, and I don't really like flying, but it's I think the diciest moment I've had is we were training before the Rio Olympics in 2016, 2015. I'm not sure which year it was, but building up and getting used to the venue. And sailing's an interesting sport because our engine is invisible, the wind. And so we go to the Olympic venues immediately after the previous Olympics and start building data and building knowledge and trying to understand,
You're already out there, trying to understand the conditions and stuff.
Yeah, it's seasonal, so we go out at the right time of year that will produce similar environments to what we'll see in those 2 weeks in 4 years' time. Of course. But it's like that age-old thing. If you want to know what the weather's doing tomorrow, go and ask the local fisherman who's been doing it for 60 years. He'll know. And so we're trying to fast track that knowledge going out. But Rio was an intense venue because you've got the vast expanse of this, the Atlantic Ocean right there. And I remember out training one day, and we'd had a storm that had been running up from the south. And honestly, the waves that were rolling in, and have you been to Rio, either of you?
No. So
you've seen all the iconic, the iconic, like Christ the Redeemer and those iconic
big Christ figure.
Exactly, and all the topography, so all the land around there is basically internal volcanoes that have, for millions of years ago that have hardened, and all the outside of the mountain has been eroded away, and all you're left with is the internal volcanic hard rock. So that is all. So it creates, and it's like this bay, and it creates this amphitheater of noise. So these waves are bowling in from the Atlantic. So picture this, are hitting this hard rock that are all in a semicircle. It's like a massive speaker, and the roar of the ocean as it hits these volcanic, mountainous, from deep to shallow suddenly in the click of a finger, and the roar of the noise and the sheer power. I mean, these waves will have been, put another house on top of your house. And that's about the wave height.
60 foot.
Oh, man. I mean, it probably bottom to top. It would have been certainly 40 feet. Like, you're disappearing.
That's like when you see those mad surfers go out and they catch like a sort of 40-foot wave. And whenever I see that on kind of YouTube or something or whatever, from whenever it is, I'm always just mouth on the floor, right?
Yeah.
But like, for me, I can't comprehend it because it's outside of anything I've experienced.
I've never seen a wave that big.
I can't. You can see it, but I've never been where you are. I can't appreciate just how huge and epic that is. So that must just be.
It's humbling.
So you were sailing in those conditions at Rio then?
Yeah. Well, so this experience I'm talking about was actually a training camp we were on. But yes, we're out sailing. Because we don't know that the race control won't send you on a day like that. They might not, but you've got to be ready for it. And actually, it's so you're so helpless at that point if something goes wrong. That, I mean, we've got all our safety and our coach boats there, but what I mean is, if don't even try. Like, just let if something goes wrong, just let the ocean take you. You may as well just enjoy the last 60 seconds of your life.
They stopped the Germany match the other day because of a bit of rain. Maybe a bit of hail, but still. 40-foot waves, like with it roaring off the.
Off you go. You're fine.
Yeah. And I've definitely felt a bit humbled there. I mean, there's lots of shark encounters, but you're always on the boat, but they're big.
Go on. Now you've piqued my interest. Sharks. Now we're talking about sort of multiple sets of spare trousers or shorts.
Well, actually,
I know that they're in the sea.
Duncan's
and you're on the
never
boat.
going in the sea again after this.
I just explained. I've got a dicey relationship with the sea at the best of times. So, what kind of sharks are you talking about?
So my teammate. So the boat I sailed, I'm kind of half in the boat, like leaning off the side, but my teammate. I'm called the helmsman, the skipper. My teammate is called his position is called, he's the crew, like that's. But his feet are on the side of the boat, and there's a wire attaching from his he's got a harness on, and that wire attaches up to the mast, which is the stick in the sky that holds the sails up. Anyway, so he's stood out on the side of the boat. So really, his whole body's he's not in a boat.
He's leaning over the water, basically.
Well, yeah, and exactly. So his whole body is over the water. Anyway, we were going upwind. We were sailing in Tokyo, quite windy, quite wavy, and blasting along. And a racing. This wasn't at the Olympics. This was like a national champs in Tokyo or something. Yeah. Anyway, blasting upwind, and a massive dorsal fin of a shark. As we went over a wave and down the other side, there was this shark there, and the dorsal fin hit his leg. It was the dorsal fin was so tall.
It hit his leg. It went
his
past
legs.
Him, right?
Yeah, it hit his legs. And right under him, and he. I've got the giggles. He absolutely had the brownest trouser moment you could ever see.
Touching shot. He was touching shot.
So good.
Literally.
Yeah.
When you're touching cloth, he was touching shot.
Yeah. That's the new phrase.
Touching shark.
So good. It was a hammerhead. It was a hammerhead shark.
You featured or were part of making this Chasing Tokyo documentary. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mike's just started watching it, haven't you?
I have.
A chunk
I thought
of it.
I do a bit. That's hence why I said the crab hunting, because that was amazing. So it was. I take it you said your folks were in the Isle of Tiree. Have I said that right?
Tiree.
So is that they were filming?
That's where we filmed. Yeah, my wee segment was the film crew. They're a great group of lads. Orillo, but they came out to Tiree and filmed for. This camera crew followed us for a couple of years building up to Tokyo. And
wow.
Yeah.
For people that haven't made the journey to like remote parts of Scotland, you're standing in crystal clear water with white sandy beaches, just free diving with a snorkel, hunting crabs and fish. Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? It looks like the Caribbean.
Oh, there's some beautiful beaches in Scotland.
Idyllic. It's idyllic. And the whole of the West Coast is largely like that. Yeah, Tiree is... In fact, it's Isle of Tiree Distillery. So I don't know if you heard of Tiree Gin, but there is some of the boys, the local lads on the island have just started distilling maybe... Well, no, they've distilled a wee while ago. It's in maturation at the minute, but Isle of Tiree Distillery is a thing. But the island is stunning. It is white sand, blue water, and I'm incredibly lucky that my parents live there and I can go out and visit.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Man of the water sort of thing.
Man of the sea. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I watched about 40 minutes of that and I'm now hooked. So
I love a good documentary like that. That Nepalese fella who remortgaged his house and then went round and did all
Oh, that's what I told you about. My friend's friend.
My brother-in-law skydived with him. He was skydiving in like Spain or something, and he was on the trip. Yeah, it's bonkers. And they had dinner with him and everything. Anyway,
cool.
All that kind of stuff where it's stuff you can't really imagine, and a documentary allows you to sort of experience it in a way. I know that's a bit sad, isn't it? But
but we all do that, don't we?
Things we don't, may not even be able to do these days with kids and stuff, or at least not for a while, really. It's cool to be able to watch it. So on that, you've been teasing us the whole episode, with your new Unkiltered indie bottling label, and you said you got 3 drams, and every time you lead, you're like, oh, maybe I'll tell them. No, maybe I won't. So, are you going to share with us what the first 3 bottles are?
More than happy to share. Yeah. I'll go and get them so you can see them.
Yeah, that would be good. Also, take a picture of them because we'll retweet it again.
I will.
Picture of the cask, picture of the bottles. Beautiful.
A few moments later.
So, there's a. So obviously we've got listeners, not viewers. I'm showing the bottle right now, but there you go.
That is a chunky vessel. That's what I'm gonna say. It looks like the remnants of a shell that's been an artillery shell that's been fired.
Yeah, it does have a bit of an artillery shell vibe, doesn't it? Right? Or
it's very
or like
Royal Navy,
or like a flask.
But each one's going to be a different color as well.
Yeah, so they're bold, aren't they?
They are like playful and exciting, and they're different, aren't they?
Yeah, it's definitely different.
That is different.
It doesn't 100%. Look like people usually either go stubby, like I've got PC10 here, like stubby.
Yes.
They look weighty.
Or just your classic kind of whiskey bottle or taller. So they kind of look a bit like somewhere between some sort of shell type munition or like a flask. If you've got like a
Yeah.
Like a water bottle flask type thing, that type of
So
thing.
me and my sister Anna. So I haven't said, my sister and I very much do this together, 50-50, and we both quite like
cool.
a thinner, taller bottle to hold. I quite like how it feels in the hand to pour. I've nothing against smaller, stumpier ones, but I just quite like the more, that you can get your hand around it a bit more. And
it's most definitely standing out on a shelf.
I'd rather have a taller bottle than a shelf.
Yeah, I know. And it's good for the label. Like, it gives presence because the label can be tall and high, like slapped on the bottle as well. And my sister does all the look of everything is Anna. Yeah. She is a designer. She's got.
I was going to say she's graphics designer, right?
Graphic designer, huge creative streak in her. She's very artistic, and she's got a great vision of how she thinks she wants, what her style is and how it looks and how she wants it to be. So she's an absolute weapon as well, a total workhorse. I mean, she has, absolute workhorse.
They go both ways, absolute weapon, can't it? You've got a nice way.
Yeah.
Depends where you're from.
You're
really
right.
Cool
You're
and
right.
stuff, and they will stand out, which I think is important.
Hugely.
Yeah. And we've gone for like so the glass is it's 100% post-consumer glass, so it's got a very slight
thing, right?
I was going to mention, because I think when we first met, I overheard you talking about you talked about sustainability, and you were talking, I can't remember who you were speaking to, but you were asking them about sustainability of their stuff, and I was like, right, I'm going to grab him.
Yeah, and exactly, I remember I can't remember what stand we were
Whiskey, I can't remember what stand it was. Was it Whiskey Live, wasn't it?
It was a Whiskey Live.
That recycled glass then, or
it's hard. And what's also hard? Well, is it hard to get hold of it? No, it's not hard to get hold of. But what clear, as Annabelle would have said with Nick Nean as well. They very much are spearheading that whole movement, quite rightly so. And I think, for us, we want to kind of exist tomorrow, don't we? It's you kind of got. I'm not here to preach anything, by the way, but it's just important that we make tomorrow good as well as yesterday, and so we're just trying to play a little part in when we're able to make a choice, me and Anna, we're choosing a route that is more sustainable than another choice. Why not? So we know we're making a product, we're not suggesting we're changing the world, but we are definitely, when we get given the opportunity, we're going to try and choose something that's more sustainable and better.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can be done. You can make all these decisions as you go, whether it's the glass like you have done, right? Mm-hmm. Or whether it's how you send samples to people, or there's all kinds of things you can do. Like whether you're paperless business, being efficient in travel, like the list goes on and on. So it's good. I also think the kind of blue tint is kind of cool. Really? Yeah. Well, we've got some recycled glasses at home that we drink out.
Yeah, and it's not got the same darkness as, like, I don't know if you've got a Singleton bottle in your shelves, but Singleton's quite dark. Yeah. It's not as dark as Nick Nean either. It's much clearer than that. It's just a hint of blue. It's not
You
blue.
Couldn't really see it until you really held it close to the camera.
Yeah, and you still get the difference in the colour of the spirit, through it. Like there's one lighter one, there's a darker.
Luke, I've got to say again,
the difference.
You're an epic tease, right? What about the liquid?
Right,
what three whiskies have you chosen?
So, and also, like, if you want to see what colour it is, get the cork off and get it poured.
He's going
to change it to black bottling after today, just to piss Duncan off.
And if you don't know when it's empty, just quickly buy another one, actually. Just in case.
Be really annoying. But there's also a thing of, I do really love some people's bottles, and like, like the Wireworks bottle and that kind of stuff. When you get like custom glass made, but it adds a lot of cost as well. And as a consumer, I'm always looking at it thinking, how much am I paying for the bottle? Because really, I just stick them in a cup. Mike's seen, I have a whiskey cabinet. They're not on show. I go to the cabinet, open it up, and I pick something out. And otherwise, they're hidden all the time. Right?
Yeah.
So really, it's just for pouring for me rather than like on display.
Yeah.
But I do like it for the pictures that you take on social media.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and we're visual creatures as well, aren't we?
So talk us through the three whiskies then.
So our first release is actually three expressions. So our first is it's a 13-year-old Deanston, which has been finished in an ex Kalila PX octave. So just a wee cask. So it draws tons of color and interestingly as well.
Ex Kalila PX.
Ex Kalila PX. Yeah.
PX.
So it has had.
Is that the one you got there? That's got a lot of colour
this
on
blue.
it.
Look at the colour of that. Yeah.
That looks like.
It's like
it almost looks like a first fill.
Funnily enough, it's almost. I'm holding the Abuna here, the Aberlour, and it's It's probably no. It's
darker.
It's darker.
It's rouger. It's redder.
It's got a slight reddiness to it.
Darker,
but so it's ex Kalila PX cask. And
Deanston
was it
an ex Kalila PX?
Yeah,
love it.
Is that full maturation in for that colour, or is that just a finish? Because that's looking full maturation.
It spent a long time in here. No. It's done 4 years in the octave. Which is,
an octave. That's why.
Yeah, it's an octave. It's just like drawn out heaps from it, and actually, we've called it the journey. The drama is called the journey because it's one of the similar to what I was talking about the Rasse. You just sit and listen to it in your palate, and it just pings you around.
Can we give you a round of applause there, Luke?
Yeah,
you've gone first bottle
100%.
in, and I wasn't sure what I was expecting, but I'll tell you what I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting to be. I'm quite surprised to have for Deanston, super interesting. Then 4 years octave, 4 years octave, ex Kalila PX. Round of applause. We'll have that in afterwards.
Yeah.
It's genuinely. I haven't seen that. Well done.
No, and actually, it's honestly. I mean, I'm not. This isn't a marketing plug. It is gorgeous, like because it just pins you around in this great journey in your mouth. If you really, really listen, you will get a hint of the Kalila that has been in there. That's sweet smokiness. Like it is just there. It's not. It doesn't slap you in the face. Yeah, it's lingering. It's just there. Subtle. Quite salty. You get the sweetness from the sherry, obviously. And Deanston, I really enjoy what Deanston do as well. Like their spirit is
solid.
Yeah, it's solid, isn't it?
Deanston 18 is excellent.
It's quite robust.
The younger Deanston's absolutely class. The dirt cheap Deanston is brilliant.
Yeah.
And if they're putting out good cheap stuff, the liquid's good.
That's the first one then.
So that's the first one.
For the other two.
So our second release is a secret undisclosed Highland malt. As you often see in the indie bottling market. And it's a 15-year-old and it's a Amontillado sherry.
Right. So one of the dry sherries. Interesting, right?
Yeah. And it's as well.
Nice.
So it's what's bizarre about this is that it's like the puny actually, which so it's fresh and vibrant on the nose. Like you think you're about to delve into a fruity, bouncing around the mouth, floral and fresh and grassy, because that's what the nose gives you. And it's like, but there's a sweetness to it, like grapes and like there's kiwi. I get kiwi fruit on it.
You
as
get
well,
kiwi in it. Okay.
Yeah. And then hits the palate. Boom. We're into like leather, ale. Those heavier, darker, deeper notes, really really substantial in the mouth, which just tricks you. I think I'm about to have a summer dram and chuck it over some ice with some soda.
So it's 15-year-old.
15-year-old. Yeah.
Secret Highland, which you said is
Yeah.
What about the third one, Luke?
What's that one called?
We called this the Unknown. The Unknown.
See where you're going.
If you've come up with names for them, you'll have to come up with a name for them every single time. You know that, right?
I know.
Pressure's amazing.
We very much talked about that. We were like, if we start this, we have got to.
If you start this, you've got to follow through with it.
We've got to follow.
Or you can just do one that Nian did and completely change it.
Just change it anyway.
After like 7, going, it's not this. And what's the last one?
The last one is an 11-year-old Manickmore.
I love a Manickmore.
Yeah, Tawny, export Tawny
wine. Brian's going to be.
Damn it!
We've called this the sweet treat. It's done almost 3 years in Tawny in its 11-year life, and it is. I mean, so my granny, right? She used to flood me with. We got these wee morning rolls, and she'd layer it with butter. And then just hammer golden syrup on it. And so I spent my life in my grand's house up in Buckie. So it's way up in the north, near like Murray, the Murray Firth.
Yeah.
I love it. Us nodding like we know where that is in Scotland.
Yeah.
Like Elgin.
Yeah.
Hey.
Near Elgin, exactly. And so golden syrup was like a rite of passage to get in,
love golden
in the
syrup.
front door.
Love it.
Honestly, this reminds me of that. This is we've called this the sweet treat because it just smacks you in the face with.
I've got to say, Luke, you're doing a bang up job of making me want to try these whiskies.
Oh man, I know it's
like
absolute nectar.
You're doing it really. I mean, I really want to try all three. So you've got something there, haven't you? No, but you've got something. That's the point, right? Even if you just read it out in like a really boring newsreader style, you didn't, obviously. I still would have gone, well, actually sound really good. Yeah. But then you put the little bit of Luke Patience on top, and I'm like,
Can I ask?
I appreciate
what are the ABVs? We didn't ask.
Yeah, you didn't. So the Deanston, that's 51.5%. I know, fairly pokey. Nothing extreme, but fairly pokey. The Mannickmore's 50.5, so they're very similar. And then the Highland Malt's 47.5. So, and all the normal stuff you would expect me to say, it's all non-chill filtered, natural color. Yeah, it's all that as well.
Have they been mixed down at all with any water, or have they? Yeah,
they have. No, we just brought them down a wee bit, but my palate is, I really enjoy stronger whiskey, and so I quite enjoy the idea of someone having the choice to bring it down, and I don't want to take it too far. It's like, of course, we need to try and increase our yield, as well as, like, if we were bottling, anyone says that they enjoy whiskey at 65%, I'm sure they might enjoy it, but they're not getting the body of flavour. So I
got to agree with you. I was out with some people who only have like 10 bottles of whiskey, but they spend quite a lot of money on whiskey the other day. And they were saying to me their choices. I made a recommendation to them on something to get. Actually, it was the Rioja Glenmurray. But one of the things they said to me, they said, I don't know, I got this one and it was like single cask, and I was like thinking, pretty much everything I've got a single cask. They were saying it's about 60%. I was saying it was just a little strong for them, right? Now, for me personally, my absolute favourite ABV is about 48 to 52.
There you go.
That's my perfect. Right? 47 doesn't matter. I mean, like in that range, that's perfect. Now, I do have stuff that's 60+%, but I'm always like, if I just want to relax, I kind of look at it and go, and then I reach for something that's more like around 50%. 46 to 50%, rather than going all the way up. And I know you can put water in it, but I just can't be asked a lot of the time. Sometimes I put a couple of drops in. I like to just pour it out of the bottle and enjoy it as it is.
I think I'm similar to you. That what I enjoy as well is, like, the burn is important to me. Like, where it burns tells me a story. Is it burning on my gums or at the front, behind my bottom lip? Is it burning at the back on my tongue? Is it over to the sides of my cheeks? Yep. Like, the burn is part of it for me. Does it burn for a bit and then go away?
Exactly. Or does it sort of slowly build up?
And if it's too soft for me, I don't get that feedback, and I quite enjoy that.
Yeah.
Have you done tasting notes for the bottle and stuff?
Yes, not written yet. Yes is the answer.
So
but we've given.
They will be yours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We've for each bottle on the back label, we've just put three flavors that we get from it. So we just 3 words. We want it succinct, short, and tight. On the website, we will slightly elaborate a bit more, but we won't dreary it out for paragraphs on end. And we're, we
leave that to us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, scrutinize it all you want. Yeah.
Luke, thank you so much for taking us through those bottles. If you can get some pictures to us, we're going to share as much as we can. And I mean this sincerely. I mean this really sincerely. We're genuinely impressed with what you've picked.
Yeah.
Right? I can tell. I'm looking at Mike's face. He's genuinely impressed. I'm 100%. Genuinely impressed. Great job. So we're excited. I think this is because there's a lot of indie bottlers, let's be honest. But
there's a lot.
Your three choices have really sound intent there, right?
Yeah, it says a lot.
Says a lot. So would you like to do Pudding Island drams?
Sure, I would love to.
Excellent.
Hell yeah.
So,
hell yeah.
Listeners should know the crack by now, but if you're a new listener, this is your first episode. Pudding Island Drams, you are going to a remote island location. The island can be however you want. You can completely up to your imagination. Whilst you're going to be there for 30 days, is not a survival exercise. It's not. You're not stuck there forever, right? It's just
unless you're an Olympian and want to push yourself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you could do
exactly
30 years.
Have to win.
Like one of those Japanese fellas, like stuck in the forest, still thinking the water.
30 days. Yeah, yeah. Just dug in.
Yeah, just dug in.
Don't believe it.
People tell
There's houses going round him being built.
JCB. Move the Japanese fella. Is he all right? Yeah, he's fine. He just says he wants to be left alone. Right, you get to pick one whiskey, you get to pick one pudding, and one album. We've banned mixtapes. Sorry about that.
No compilations.
No compilations, no mixtapes. Choose an album. Put your big boy pants on, choose an album. And then, who's going to pick you up and take you home at the end of 30 days? And, how are they going to pick you up and take you home?
Right.
Steady.
No pressure, but this is like Duncan's thing.
Yeah,
he gets excited.
I wouldn't say I'm entirely ready, no, but I'm forming as I'm trying to form it out in my brain while I carry the sentence out and really delay my answer. Yeah. My brain's doing other things right now.
So tell us about your idyllic island setting then. Where would you like to spend 30 days?
So this is easy for me, the island bit, because I am infinitely, forever in love with the west coast of Scotland and all the islands.
Brilliant.
And so it's not even. Also, I'm a very lucky human being. I've had the opportunity to travel the world, chasing Olympic medals, sailing boats, and wonderful places around the world, and none of them are just quite like Scotland. And so I'm straight to the west coast. And actually, I'll tell you where I'm going to go. I'm going to a wee island called Lunga, and this island is opposite. Or you can see it from Tyree, where my parents live in the west coast. And this island it's not inhabited, but for a population of puffins, loads of puffins, right?
Excellent.
Oh man, puffins are
my favourite bird.
Really,
it's so good,
terrific.
And you can visit the island, and they just scutter about with all these wee sand eels in their mouth. They dive out off the cliff, pick up sand eels, come back, go into their burrows, and you sit next to them. You just keep yourself to yourself. Don't disturb their normal goings-ons, and they just cart about you, running around like they're toddlers, and they don't care what's going on.
Oh, so they just come right around you,
right up to you, and they even look at you like come and they'll even like walk over your legs and stuff. They're totally at peace.
Oh man, what an experience!
So I think I'm going to Lunga as well because I can see over to my folks and give them a little wave. They're 10 miles away.
You're going dramming with puffins. Yeah, I love it.
I'm going dramming with puffins.
And obviously you're sailing there, right?
I'm sailing there, yeah. Well, this is the thing. So, am I taking somebody? Did you say?
No, you're on your own for. Sorry about that. You're on your own for 30 days.
So you can go there on your own, but somebody else will pick you up, and you can get home however you want.
And so that's why you get one whiskey, one album, and one pudding to keep you going.
It's a bit of Luke time.
Yeah. Okay, the whiskey I think I'm going to take.
You can leave whiskey to the end if you want. Start with the easy one. Start with pudding.
Oh, the pudding. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the pudding. Well, I assume it would be. So I've got a savoury palate, so I'm immediately diving to a cheese board on a pudding menu. But it's not.
Second cheese board.
But
good.
If that's cheating, I do have a sweet answer.
You can do both.
Let's hear both.
So I've never had a sweet tooth, but my mum used to make these epic Victoria sponge cakes for my birthday every year.
They're not too sweet, Victoria sponges.
They're not exactly, and that's probably why I like it. So I'd go for a nice, simple Victoria sponge. She'd pack me away. Well, I'm 30 days, so I guess I'm 30 cakes a day. So I'll take a crate of 30 Victoria sponges.
We're going to allow you a cheese board and a slice of Victoria sponge.
Okay, fine.
Especially if it's your mum's Victoria sponge.
Yeah. What's your favourite cheese?
Depends what. Something really gooey, blue, and like absolutely bursting. Like just on the right side of not toxic.
Yeah, like a soft still.
This is why we're getting good whiskies out of it.
I bloody love still.
Because he wants just the most flavour he can get in.
Yeah. I want every taste bud to be exploding. Yeah. Albums harder.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, if you think album's easy, do album before whiskey. I like that. The whiskey's the hardest choice. It's like when we asked you about your favourite bottles, you're like, because you can tell your process. You're like, this is when you really care about something. It's really hard to answer. Like, I hate getting asked what's my favourite whiskey, whereas I can answer much more easily. Like, what's my favourite? I don't know. Exercise, or what's my favourite? It's random, isn't it?
That's what came to your brain.
I wanted to say album, and I thought actually album is actually quite difficult. Anyway,
what is your favourite exercise, Duncan?
It's probably your classic push-up, I think, these days. Maybe with a box in the middle. Luke, what's your favourite album then? Or are you scanning Spotify to?
I was. Like, the reason I was scanning it is because I couldn't remember if I know what one of the songs are called, and I couldn't remember if the album's called that, but it is. So I was right.
Mike once forgot Oasis Best Of.
Oh, really? I think I'm taking. There's it's a Scottish band called Frightened Rabbit. They're no longer playing. I don't know if you've heard of them, but really sadly, Scott Hutchison, the lead singer, he ended his life a few years back, but the music was incredible. The band hold together. I love their vibe. The lyrics are amazing, thought-provoking,
What kind of music is
maybe
it?
in the theme of blue cheese and complex whiskey, the songs were complex, So they have me thinking.
If you had to put it in a category, what type of category would you put them in? Frightened Rabbit.
I don't know. I guess like some kind of maybe sort of indie rocky. Like they're all the normal instruments, like they're guitars, drums, bass.
Do you like the Scottish bands like Idlewild? Then
love them. Yeah, and it's actually, in fact, they're very like Idlewild.
Oh my god, I love Idlewild. All right, I'll give them a listen. Yeah,
and they're Midnight Organ Flight is the album, and it's fab. Midnight Organ Flight, absolute. They've got other great albums too, but that's probably the one. So I'll be smashing that out for a month.
So what about your so far? You've got your cheese board with your stinky blue cheese, slice of Victoria sponge, made by your mum.
Yeah.
Off the west coast of Scotland on your island, and you are going to be listening to Midnight Organ Flight by Frightened Rabbit, which leads us up to drum roll. What whiskey?
What you've been delaying us for?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You've got. Do you know, Luke? You've got a nickname now. It's the Whiskey Tease.
Oh, the Whiskey Tease.
You tease when it comes to whiskey.
I'll set you up a profile on Insta after.
Yeah. I tell you what. This is. I'm going to take, because I've already mentioned it tonight. I think I'm going to take my Mortlach 16, but the flora and fauna.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to take that. Twice mentioned, but for a good reason. It's getting scuttled. And also because it is quite meaty and will be severely lacking protein at that point. So if we get a nice meaty dram in us. So.
It's hard to get like really meaty drams, I think. Sometimes.
It is. It's
not
actually
too many
that.
distillers that carry that kind of like weight.
Actually, no, and actually, that's why I asked that maybe the flora and fauna range, the 16-year-old Mortlach is potentially not as meaty as the Beast as they market it now. I don't know is the answer. I'm probably going to have to get a bottle to do the test.
Yeah, or try to procure a sample from somewhere. Just to see.
So when you mentioned it earlier, I poured this, and it is just mega. So
really?
Again, the 9-year-old boutique Mortlach, and as you said, just umami, meaty notes with like super high fruit ends. Really, really good stuff.
So umami, I love that. It's rarely used that word. I like that. I like that a lot.
It's my favourite. If I was going to be wanky and do like SMWS, I always like to go to like the Maillard reaction. So when you cook steak and that in a searing pan, and you get the burn, it's just that burnt taste where it, like you draw out that meaty burnt element. That's Maillard reaction happening with the steak. So I always throw that in whiskey things, and that's similar to umami, but a bit more developed. If you were going to be wanky, which I do enjoy to be now and again.
Hold on now. I like that. So hold on. That Maillard means that moment before.
So it's that reaction within the meat when you're cooking it, when it all starts to caramelize and burn.
Love that.
And that's like that kind of. That's why barbecue food is better, because you're getting that sort of more caramelized taste on the outside.
Love it.
Obviously, as well as the smokes.
Love it. I'm going to remember that.
Just on meaty drams, isn't it usually because of the worm tub giving like a bit more sort of weight to the spirit? Isn't that the vibe? I mean, Craig Alecki is worm tub, and that's quite meaty as a whiskey.
Did you say Craig Alecki
Craig
again?
Alecki.
Craig Alecki?
Yeah.
Craig Alecki.
Craig Alecki, yeah. Craig
Alecki.
Yeah.
Craig Alecki. He's got a good mate, Craig. Craig worked at the distillery. Yeah. Craig Alecki.
My mouth
he shifts barrels round.
My mouth is very dry. I've actually just poured a Glendronach car strength, the batch 12, and it is very dry. So my mouth is currently imploding on itself.
That's why you.
Yeah, that's
you
why I
Craig
made the mistake. It's
struggling.
nothing to do with
anything
else. Yeah. But
hey,
there's a few.
It's not
right?
rum. It's not rum.
Like I don't know if this is a full list, but I mean, I always think that Belmanic is quite meaty. That's worm tub, isn't it? Like
that was that SMWS when I had.
That's what I'm saying. There are a few. Who's going to pick you up from your Pudding Island dram experience?
Easy. My old man. Dad.
Hey, no one said that, Dad, yet. I love that.
Yeah, I know. What he's gonna do is he's gonna sail over. He's got a wee lug sailed boat.
Is it the Miley or the Myri? I've seen a name on the side of the boat.
No, yeah, you're all Malin. She's called Malin, and Malin's actually a name for the body of water on the north side of Tiree. So it's just called. I think it is actually. So maybe somebody might correct me on that the Mallet. So he's gonna set off Tyree, sail out to Lunga, and pick me up. So he's got this wee lug-sailed boat. It's like a traditional boat with a wooden mast. It's what that rouge kind of maroon-colored sail, canvas sail. It's not, and because all my ancestors, so my dad's father, grandfather, and on and on and on it goes, were all fishermen from the Moray Firth in the northeast of Scotland, and they sailed on these massive boats called Zulus. They're called. Weird word for a boat in Scotland, but it was called a Zulu. Sounds African, and our ancestors. So they were the Patiences were known for their being fast sailors. So they would get out to the herring runs.
The opposite of the name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'd get the herring in the boat and they'd smash it back to the shore. And because they were first back, the fish were fresher. They get the best prices on the fish and they'd land it. So Dad wanted to pay homage to that and has this a really mini version of one of these Zulu. It's a lug sail boat. Love it. So he'd come out and get me. Although he'd be shitting himself because he doesn't like going too far offshore.
From what I saw in the documentary, he seems like, when you can tell someone is instantly a lad.
Yeah, he's a good lad.
I'd like to have a drink with your old man, basically.
He's good for it.
Just like...
Yeah. He's a big red wine fan. I haven't managed to get him into whiskey yet, but he is, of course, doing his due diligence and having a wee sip of our...
He's trying them.
He's trying them.
Yeah, that's nice.
You'll have to let us know his tasting notes because Duncan's dad, again, likes a dram now and again and just goes, what do you think of this? £200 bottle, exclusive. There's only 2 in the UK. What do you reckon? Nice. I got a very nice earlier when I gave the Redbreast Quattro Barillas or whatever it is to Maria's dad. He tried it. Very nice. He went. Oh, this is very nice. I was like, wow. Well, it is.
Yeah, it is very nice. He's correct.
Yeah.
Like,
his scoring system works. Nice.
Very nice.
Very good. Yeah.
Well, cheers to you guys, Slanger. Lovely to have you on the pod.
Wow.
Thanks so much, Luke, for coming on.
Slange.
You've been a real gent. Thanks so much for sharing your stories.
I'm sailing the massive. Here we go, Luke Patience.
I love sailing. Listening to Ramstein. I love sailing. Stormy waters to be near you, to be free.
Trousers on, have a cup of tea, and I think about sailing to
Now, is there anything else you want to share with us?
Well, the real question now. Well, firstly, thanks for having me. But when are we doing our live tasting all together? We'll need to be in situ.
100%.
Are we doing a live tasting? Are we?
Well, we'll have to. Surely, we've got. I mean, we've talked about the bottles. Now you've got to taste them, and you must. and you mustn't do that alone.
Isla Tyree tasting.
Isla Tyree tasting. Yeah, exactly.
Let's do that.
Let's get the Mike. Call the butler. Tell him to get the helicopter going.
Yeah.
Let's clap again.
3 claps for the helicopter.
Yeah.
Definitely. If people want to find you and the company, where are they going to look for you? How do they find you?
Well, you would, follow us on Unkiltered Spirits on Instagram, and our webpage is unkilteredspirits.com. So come and have a look. That's where you will find all the jazz. And hopefully, if you would like to try our bottles, then that is the place to do it.
Beautiful.
And then the other thing, you mentioned the Patient Spirit Company right at the beginning. I probably should have said like that. So we do bespoke bottlings for clients. So we work with a client for whatever that is that they would like and what they're doing it for, and we will take them through this process of finding whiskey to get. It might be together. They might just want have a list of requirements, and we just want to leave us to it. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's a really interesting part of the journey as well, because you are you're doing it on behalf of someone else. So you're there's another element of pressure involved in getting it right for that reason, because with our own bottlings, we're doing it for us. So there's the pressure is different because you're hoping people enjoy it. Whereas the other one, the bespoke bottling for clients, is like it's that classic thing.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. You show them what you've done at the end of it, and you hope that you see a smile on their face.
So with that, you're covering unique bottle design, I take it you do for each one.
Yeah.
You'll source the whiskey, you'll get it all out branded for them. You do everything, basically.
We do everything. Yeah, we do everything. And you know, obviously the clients have different budgets. So there is, you know, one of the biggest ones is glassware and spirit is probably the two biggest kind of costs that you can go down. And obviously there's finishing of it, but it's a great fun thing to do because, you know, you're kind of, I don't know, it's that balance between the client might want something, but you're also trying to maybe push them, just nudge them in a direction that you think would be good for them.
Yeah.
So we've done a few of those in there. I've quite enjoyed them. So,
and I bet Anna's busy doing all the work on the bottlings and the labels and things like that for those as well.
Yeah. She designs everything. Anna's really good at, you know, she keeps me on my toes because I'm such an organic, free, loose character, and she's very methodical. It's like she's the boss, but she follows behind me with a clipboard, you know, trying to solidify.
You're the puffin, aren't you?
I can't believe you, Luke. I can't believe you described yourself as an organic, free, loose character.
Yeah. So
I don't know what to do with that.
I'd be lost without her, but she's brilliant. So she makes, basically, Anna makes everything happen. I dream about it, and me and her brainstorm it together, and she actually makes it happen. You know, so
we when my wife and I were getting married, I remember the wedding. I labelled myself as creative director, and she was operations director. I just came up with all the ideas, and someone else had to get it done.
And she'd tell you which ideas were rubbish as well, I assume.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. Sometimes.
As I mentioned, I think at my wedding I was key grip. Like I had no involvement. No one knew what I did to do the whole thing. No one knows.
No one even knew you were the groom.
Yeah, like what about this?
Who's this fella in the suit?
Shut up.
Oh, he's the groom.
Yeah, I didn't even choose the whiskey. Duncan did when we were drunk.
I did choose the whiskey.
Yeah, he did.
That was a bargain.
Mega. Top job. Well,
love it.
I'm going to end it there. It's been amazing. Thank you, Luke. And thank you for listening, everyone. If you want to follow us, we're on @HonestandMalt on all the social medias. And as per Luke's last mention, follow them along.
Like, if you like the pod and you listen to it, which a whole bunch of you do, give us a 5-star. Be a legendary listener.
Yes, please do leave reviews.
I'll do that
I don't think anyone's left us a 5-star review for quite a while. We do love you who has left it. We don't like you,
but thanks for listening though.
With and left us 1 star. But yeah, please feel free to leave more 5-star reviews for us. It does help boost.
It also just keeps our morale up because we do one of these every week on top of.
Keeps Duncan's morale up. I don't care.
Yeah, Mike doesn't care.
Duncan's more into that.
He's a stronger character than I am. I need the validation.
I need validation from my dog, and that is it. Nothing else. But no,
my dog doesn't like hugs, so blame Leo.
He does off me. Just saying. Your dog really liked me.
He did like you.
Yeah.
Some sort of dog whisperer.
I'm just going to say alpha male. It's fine. But anyway, thank you for listening, everyone, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye.
Ciao.
Just take a little journey with me. Show some patience as we think of the whiskey that we've drunk and lost. But I'm feeling your anticipation. But any moment we're gonna find that perfect drop and bottle it. Just sail with me through the night and don't be too quick to judge the way